Hi guys, welcome back to HAG Studios. If you're new to our channel, a special welcome to you. As a designer, I'm usually recommending to persons that they place freshly cut flowers indoors because it brings that extra spark to the rooms, it lifts the spirit, and it just gives a nice special feel. But I often hear persons say, I don't know how to arrange flowers. So today what we're going to do is some simple flower arrangements. And we're not going to use very fancy flowers for the most part. They're going to be flowers that you pick in your backyard, or if you're crazy like me, you stop at the roadside and you pick flowers and you come and you put it in a vase. So today we're going to do some simple floral arrangements that you can do. So let's go. Now, anything can be a vase or a vase for those of you who say vase. In Jamaica, we say vase. And I want to recommend that you start to just look around your house and see what things you can use. Some very ordinary things. Or when you're out shopping, you may want to pick up some interesting things. But just have a variety of vases, and then you use flowers according to the style of the vase. Now, the flowers I've gathered today, I did get some in the store, in the plant store, like these. But these I just gathered from around the yard and my neighbor's yards. And this I picked up at the roadside, along the roadside. So there are things you can pick up and just put them in a vase, and once they're in a nice vase, they're going to look good. And it doesn't take much to put them together. What you want to do is have vases, a variety like I said. And I'm going to suggest that when you buy vases, you go for vases that are wider here in the middle or on the bottom, and then they narrow at the top. Because when that happens, it's a lot easier for you to get the flowers staying in place. So like that. Or this one. This one gets wider, but then that will also have the flowers spreading at the top and the stems will be in the bottom. You can use anything. A pretty teacup. This was actually one of my parents' wedding gifts, and they're not alive now, but they would have been married maybe 70-something years ago. So you know, this teacup has been around a long time. It's one of my prized possessions. So a contrast to that is a old enamel mug with the chips, because you need to have the chips on it for it to really be more authentic. So if you have had one for a long time, great. But if not, they're still available downtown in some stores or in the market. A wine glass will make a nice vase. This is one of my fancy vases. So you're going to have a combination of nice fancy vases, regular vases, and any old thing. All right? I've placed this vase inside because I'm not so sure that this will not leak. But this is what I want to be showing. But you could also arrange in this by itself. When I arrange, I will try to hide this part of it. Mulberries from my garden, just pick them. I'm going to start with this one. All right. You notice I added some marbles because I find when you have transparent vases like this, it's nice to add something inside. So you don't just have the stems, you have something else. So I add marbles. Or you can add stones, pretty stones, which I'm gonna put in this one when we're ready. Okay, let's see what we're gonna use in this one. I kind of like this. And I'm just gonna, if you see, because it comes up like this and narrows, it's just gonna spread. And you want to fill it out. It's best to pick off the leaves that are down below to avoid leaves in the water, because those will tend to rot and then your arrangement won't last quite as long. By the way, you should treat yourself to one of this, a clipper or a cicature, because it's a lot easier than using a knife. But if not, just use a sharp knife. So this is pretty simple. And I'm gonna go around and let it. This is easy, especially because the vase has this shape. So it does most of the work for you. Make sure you have enough water so all the stems are going down into the water. I'm gonna add a little bit more to this. There we go. Now, I know these are plants that would be found in the tropics, and I'm told by some of our viewers, I have a viewer from Russia who tells me some of these plants she gets as well. She has in Russia. So if you don't have these, just look around in your country for the plants that you have just growing wild. And this is just a simple arrangement. And if you want a little highlight to it, we could even add something else. Oh, my petal is gone there. Just add in something else, kind of like a highlight to the arrangement. And they don't have to be in any special position. And so, this is one. And this arrangement can be viewed from all sides. Sometimes you're going to do an arrangement if you're doing it for a corner where all the flowers the flowers are in the front and the back is basically empty. So that's one for you. Simple, you can do that, can't you? This is a vase I use in a bathroom. And the turquoise fits in with the other things in the bathroom. So I'll show you that later. And I like the combination of turquoise and pink. Turquoise vase and pink. I love how that looks. Now, this, do you know this? This is, we also call, this is another plant we call rice and peas in Jamaica, and maybe in the Caribbean generally. But it's used as a coal bush. I hear it's very good for coals. I've never used it, but I hear that. The leaves are used for coals. But I think it grows wild along the roadside. So I go in a little bit from the edge of the road and I pick. And this is so simple. You just add this to the vase. The vase itself has so much character. You don't really have to add a lot to it. And they hang in such a way that you really don't have to arrange, you just put them in. Just make sure you have enough of it in. It tends to get twisted, I find, because it's more of a vine. I don't think from that side you probably need a little bit more on that side, so. Let's put some on this side for you. Is that looking better? Very simple. Here the vase has enough and the plant, enough character. You don't need to be adding too much. And I'm sure you can do this. I have no doubt. Let me see what you're seeing. Need something more around the back here. So I'm gonna add another piece to the back. Well, it's not really the back. See? This is it. And I'll place this in the bathroom later for you to see. Apart from flowers, you can also use a variety of foliage. You can fill a vase with one type of foliage, or you can do a combination. So I'm gonna do something now, just using foliage. And you know we have a lot of foliage available to us. The beautiful crotons, which come in so many colors, so many varieties. So I'm gonna use crotons for this one. And I kind of feel like I want to use some of this Dracaena. Suppose I tell you to, these will actually start to root once they're in the vase for a while. Both the Dracaena and the croton will root. When they curve, when the plant curves like this, it's usually very easy to work with. I'm taking off the lower leaves. Oh, and by the way, you can add just a few grains of salt or sugar, not a lot, just a few grains to keep the plants fresh. And if you can change the water every few days, it's good. Let me see, I need something else around here. I'm gonna add another. Whoa, it's dropping out. Okay, that stem could have been a little longer. It's just something you feel. It's not, there's no set rule. Whatever you like, just cut it, put it in the vase, and it will look good. Look at this now. I'm thinking I'm gonna add some Mary's tears. You know this one, right? Just for a little excitement up here. And if it's there, we need to have a piece that's hanging down. So I'm gonna have this one. Oh, I might have to cut this a little. What you want to be doing is practicing. And after a while, you're gonna find that you become a real pro at it. So I added the Mary's tears. And that's that one. I know you can do that. You could use other crotons with the broader leaves, but once you have foliage, it's just so beautiful. It's already made beautiful for you. You don't have to do much. Okay, my prized possession. I have to put some water in. And I'm also going to put a few marbles in because I want to make sure it's steady. Yeah, weight it down a little. And then this calls for delicate flowers, doesn't it? You couldn't put the thick foliage in this, so they need to be shorter because that's how they're gonna stay. And I'm just gonna put this in here. This grows like, this is just wild grass growing everywhere at the side of the road. Because this is low, you want to keep the flowers low. and just pack it in. I think I could have picked a little bit more of it, so I'm gonna have to combine something else with it. All right, I also have this. I think I'm gonna put this in there as well. Whoa! Whoa! All right, I almost wet you up, but we're ready to start again with this. But I think I needed more of this. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to use this as a filler, and you're allowed to change your mind. Just experiment. I bought these at Gorgeous Flowers, and I think I'm going to use this in this vase instead. Cutting them short and just fill them around the vase. For low things, if the stems are short, they will stay up better. One more here. And I think I want to just add this now. See, this is not rehearsed, you know, I'm just doing it as I go along, and that's the same thing you're going to do. And when you think you need to stop, when you feel like you need to stop, then you stop. So like this you could put beside your bed. Put another one down here. I'm going to use them all up. Okay. And that's my teacup. I got this small complimentary bottle of wine recently. I think it's called May, M-A-Y. And I just thought the bottle is so pretty. Now, this is the kind of thing you could use in a group. You could do 3. Odd numbers are good. 3 or 5 bottles, a combination of bottles. And then you just add things to it. I want that for that vase, so I'm gonna have to find something else to work in here. Maybe some of this statice and some of this. Not putting too much in this. This is called statice. This flower will last for years. This is like paper. But the stems will get brown, but this will stay like this. And it comes in purples and pinks as well. And I think it will look nice in this little green bottle. See, there's not much that you have to do. Let me turn it around so I'm seeing it properly. Then I'll show you. It's the kind of thing that you could do like a series of bottles and place like on a sideboard. Simple, simple, simple. Don't tell me you can't do this one. And it could be taller wine bottles, just pretty bottles. Collect them and use them as vases. I tell you what, I'm gonna put another little piece of white down the bottom, because sometimes you just need that little connection. So I've done that. All right, so start collecting pretty bottles. Since I'm on the statice, and Latoya wants the statice for the office, I'm gonna do one which is just with statice because we want it to last a long time. So we're gonna put it in this vase. This is a little dull now. I really need to get it sharpened. Just gonna fill it. I'm just gonna put this alone. You could do a combination in it, but because we want to have it for a long time. These, if you're in Jamaica, I got these at gorgeous flowers as well. They're a little bit on the pricey side, but because they last forever, it's worth it. When you're doing a vase like this, a round vase, you want to have the taller pieces, the pieces in the middle just a little taller. And then the pieces that go out here to hang over the vase a little. Don't let them all be straight up in the air. So you see, if you have the right vase, you just fill it. It's not that hard. It makes it much easier. So you see that? I need to add a few more pieces maybe. So you know, for the arrangements, you don't want to make them appear stiff. A little playful, allowing a little play with the plants so they look more natural, because in nature, plants do not stand up straight. They bend. They welcome you. All right? So there's that one. Easy one to do. So get a vase like this. I just love this vase. Isn't it nice? I saw my friend Rosie with it at her home, and I said, Rosie, I have to go get one. This is just too pretty. So I went out and got myself a vase like Rosie's. And I'm thinking, sometimes you think of the color. When you have a colored vase, it's good to have the flowers match with the vase. Now, bougainvillea, you know, it's all over the place. It's in full bloom now, fabulous, different shades. It doesn't always hold up in a vase, but sometimes it does. And if it holds up for a day, that's good. That could be just it. Or if you want more, I'll give you more. The vase itself makes that statement again, so you don't need to be doing too much. And this won't cost you anything. Just don't break the vase, you'll have this forever. Let me see. I'm gonna put one more piece in it. I'm gonna do this shade. So there's some kind of shading going on. This is a different type of thing, and I think the shading should be nice. Here you go. My mug. All right. What shall we put in this? You can do a contrasting thing where you put fancy flowers. It's not leaking, no. Fancy flowers. Or I think today I'm just gonna put some lantanas. Again, remember to cut the stems. You know, let me show you what is a pinch of salt. Because if you put too much salt in the vase or sugar, you're going to end up losing the flowers, because I think you might remember something called osmosis when we were doing biology. If you have too much, if you have a little bit of salt, it freshens the water. But if you have too much, it pulls the water out of the plants. I remember that. Osmosis. That was one of my favorite subjects, actually. Biology. So I'm just gonna fill this one with these. This could also be an old kettle. You could use an old kettle for this. This color partially because I have this. This is actually rose, but from a distance you all know. And wanted to just capture that color in this vase. Gonna use all of these. So it really is full and nice. And this one has no particular order. You can't make a mug arrangement too stiff. This mug reminds me of Miss Edith and Aunt Edith, who used to live down the road from me. Miss Edith was down the road and Aunt Edith was up the hill when I was growing up. Two really great ladies. And they used to drink from mugs like these. So this is in honor of Aunt Edith and Miss Edith. Miss Edith and Aunt Edith's mug. With coffee that they would have picked themselves and roasted themselves. Lovely. So this is a mug arrangement. My tall vase. All right, gonna add a few grains of salt here. I sometimes add, see, it's tiny bit for this. See, it's a tiny bit of salt for this tall jar, not a whole heap. Now, this vase, I'm sure you have met it before if you have been watching us. This is my vase that I consider one of my precious possessions. I use it mainly on my dining table. Because this is tall, you have to have the red gingers tall. And these I know a lot of persons. I'm gonna add these heliconias and they'll just hang. But these you can only use in a very tall vase. You don't want it hanging down on the table. This needs something else. So, give me a few minutes, give me a few seconds, and I'm going to go get something else to add to this. It could be left like this, but I think it wants something else. Oh, I know what I could use. I have this. And I could use this a little lower down. Check off this bad leaf. I'm gonna use some of this, which will add some green and some white. And just make this one very full. Adding this at the base. This is also easy to grow. It's good to have plants in your yard, which you can just cut and use in a vase. Let me see, you just turn it around and see where else you might need to add something. When you're going high, it's best not to have too much foliage on it, so it looks too full in the middle as you go to the top. Now, this is just one thing, but there's something else I'm going to show you with this vase, with another easy to use shrubbery. Let me see. You need something here. And I think the water needs to be higher because you want to make sure all the stems are in the water, and you change the water at least once a week because they keep fresher, but also because you don't want to have mosquitoes breeding in it. So change the water and check that the water is high enough for the stems. If the water isn't high enough, you see the plant that is not in it starting to wilt. Has to look good all around. Even if it doesn't look identical, has to look good. Because it's going to be on the dining table in the middle, so you're making an arrangement that will show all over. All right. Okay, this one is for you guys who, like me, are members of the White Picture Fan Club. This one has such beautiful lines. We don't want to do too much with this, although you could fill it with a lot of colorful flowers. This allows you a lot of room to play with in terms of design. But I'm just gonna keep it simple. I have this still, and I love the curve on this. And I'm gonna put it here. And then I'm just gonna add some green and white. Since we're going green and white, I'm gonna add some Joseph coat. And you know, Joseph coat or coleus come in a wide variety of colors and variations. So I have this one. I'm just gonna add this to it. And it will also root in no time. Both of them will root. A lot of these plants, once they're in the water, within a week you'll see roots growing. So you can take it out and then add that. And then plant it. You can take it out and plant. I could leave it like this, or I could add a little excitement with any flowers, but the oleander, this is a variegated type of oleander, so I could add that to it as well. Let's see. And then this one, and then this one here, just for a little bit more excitement. So that's that one. But like I say, this is something you can just pick anything and put in it, and it looks good because the vase itself looks good. The last one is a wine glass. You could do a series of these and use it as your tablescape, for example. And I'm gonna add a few colorless marbles to this one. These you'll get in the plant stores in bags, or some of the home stores. Maybe I should just add a few of the colored ones just to give it a little, make it more visible. Yeah. Mix them in. And I'm just going to put these daisies in it. This needs something here. Add some of these chrysanthemums, the taller, skinnier ones, to it. Now imagine doing this in the center of your dining table, different size vases, and just a series of them along the table or in a group. I've just done one, but you can do more. Cheers. Okay, I'm going to show you something that's a little bit different for those of you who may want to use something dried. I'm sure you know what this is. This I picked up at the side of the road, and it's the bottom of the palm branch. You just cut the stem off and you have this. Isn't this nice and curvaceous? Nice tones as well. And I'm gonna add this to it. This one is very simple. So in this case, I have this vase, or this plant I should say, which is supposed to be, I guess, representative. It's supposed to be like a bird house. And I'm gonna add an orchid to this. No, I don't want the pot to be showing. So I just use Old Man's Beard. Here's some more. and just put it there to hide the pot. And then I'm going to put it here. I guess I should place it before I place this. And then I'm just going to use this to the back. This again is from the plant, the palm flower, the little palm fruits that have been on this. And you know I collect them. This one is sprayed a light white. And then an orchid in there. That's a simple arrangement, easy. And this you could put on a coffee table. This is a big one, so you'd need a big coffee table for this one. Or a sideboard. I want to show you this, which I did for the Chill Lounge at the Orchid Society's show, which was held recently. And the theme was Spring, a Reawakening. So I carried through that theme of reawakening, and the puis had just finished blooming and had just started to put out new leaves, which is reawakening. So this I did as part of that. The butterfly and some other things like bird houses and birds' nests. Let me show you my bird nest, by the way. Yeah, to continue the theme of reawakening, I had this bird nest. And I use river stones that look like eggs inside of it. And this was part of the scene in the Chill Lounge for the Orchid Society show, which was very, very good. So this you can do with just branches. Some of the leaves are a little wilted now because the water had dried out. But the pui branches, actually the leaves, once they're put in water, they'll stay fresh for a little while. The reawakening, springtime. So there you have it. And I know you can do it. Just start with something small, and then as you get better at it, you can do a little bit more complex arrangement. But look for things around your house which you can use. It can be anything, as long as it can hold water. And also, maybe you want to treat yourself to 1 or 2 vases. But bring plants and foliage indoors, because that will add that life to your room and make it so much more fun to be in. So, thanks for watching, and I see you next time.